In 1958, amidst the Cold War's intense rivalry, the United States Air Force conceived an audacious secret plan called Project A119 to detonate a nuclear bomb on the Moon. The primary objective was not scientific, but geopolitical, to demonstrate American technological and military superiority over the Soviet Union, which had shocked the world with the launch of Sputnik in 1957, igniting the space race. The project was born out of the so-called Sputnik crisis, a period of heightened anxiety in the US over falling behind in space exploration and technological innovation. The idea was to create a visible explosion on the Moon's surface, specifically along the terminator, the boundary between the illuminated and shadowed areas, to ensure the flash and resulting debris plume could be seen from Earth with the naked eye or telescopes. This dramatic display was intended to serve as a propaganda victory, boosting American morale and sending a clear message to the Soviet Union about US capabilities in the escalating space race. Project A119, officially titled A Study of Lunar Research Flights, was spearheaded by physicist Leonard Reifel at the Armor Research Foundation, now part of the Illinois Institute of Technology. Reifel led a small team of scientists, including a young Carl Sagan, who was tasked with calculating the behavior of the dust cloud that would result from the explosion. The nuclear device initially considered was a hydrogen bomb, but plans later specified a W-25 warhead with a yield of 1.7 kilotons, significantly smaller than the 13 to 18 kiloton little boy bomb dropped on Hiroshima. The explosion was expected to produce a brilliant flash and a plume of lunar debris, which would be faintly visible from Earth, serving both as a scientific experiment and a bold geopolitical statement. The scientific goals, though secondary, included studying the Moon's composition and gaining insights into planetary astronomy and astrogeology. The absence of a lunar atmosphere meant no traditional mushroom cloud would form, but the debris plume was anticipated to provide valuable data. The project progressed through 1958, with the Air Force leveraging advancements in intercontinental ballistic missile technology to plan the launch. The target was carefully chosen to maximize visibility, with the terminator offering the best contrast for observers on Earth. However, by January 1959, Project A119 was abruptly canceled. Several factors contributed to this decision. The risks of a launch failure were significant. A rocket malfunction could result in the nuclear warhead detonating on Earth, potentially over Soviet or Allied territory, causing catastrophic fallout and an international incident. Additionally, scientists raised concerns about the long-term impact of nuclear contamination on the Moon, which could interfere with future lunar exploration and research. There was also the fear that such an act would escalate Cold War tensions, prompting retaliatory actions from the Soviet Union. Leonard Reifel later reflected on the project with unease, describing it in 2000 as a misguided attempt to sway public opinion rather than a genuine scientific endeavor. The cancellation of Project A119 and its Soviet counterpart marked a shift toward more peaceful uses of space. The Partial Nuclear Test Ban Treaty of 1963 and the Outer Space Treaty of 1967, signed by both superpowers, explicitly prohibited nuclear weapons in space and restricted lunar activities to peaceful purposes. These agreements effectively closed the door on future plans to militarize the Moon, paving the way for milestones like the Apollo 11 landing in 1969. Carl Sagan's involvement, noted in papers he referenced in a 1990s university application, including one titled Possible Contribution of Lunar Nuclear Weapons Detonations to the Solution of Some Problems in Planetary Astronomy, added a layer of historical intrigue, as some of his contributions were published under pseudonyms like I Filosofo. Project A119 remains a striking example of Cold War-era ambition, blending scientific curiosity with military strategy. While it never came to fruition, the plan underscores the lengths to which nations went to assert dominance during a period of global tension. Today, it serves as a historical footnote, reminding us of the ethical and environmental considerations that shape modern space exploration. The project's legacy also informs ongoing discussions about space governance, particularly as nations and private entities renew their focus on lunar exploration. The declassified details, combined with the Soviet Union's parallel efforts, highlight a moment when the Moon was briefly considered a stage for nuclear spectacle, only to be preserved for peaceful scientific advancement.